I know the Slypod E is a very old product, but Moza just sent me one recently and I love using it. For doing what I do, which is mainly tech related videos, it's very useful. Getting smooth zooms and slides is the big key highlight of this product. And of course, having this piece of gear does help step up my shooting game and video quality. So the Slypod E does look like a monopod, and I guess it's like a hybrid monopod, but to me, I don't really see it as that first, mainly a slider at best. For the monopod aspect, it's kind of hard to relate because it's a very short monopod. So in terms of everyday situations, I don't see it really being practical. Maybe if you're shooting on a low coffee table, then sure, you'll probably get some use out of it, but for the most part, I don't see it as using it as a monopod. So if you're in the YouTube tech space or you shoot a lot of products, then this is something I would highly recommend. Basically, the Slypod is going to be on this studio tripod for a very long time, and I think that's the ideal environment this Slypod will work best. In a very controlled studio space where you have full access of whatever you're shooting. This thing works well if you're shooting montages or B-roll, not so much if you're shooting A-roll, something like this, or interviews, because the motor on this thing is pretty loud. The second best thing about this Slypod is I can use this as an overhead rig. If you shoot unboxings, tutorials, or even cooking videos, then it's gonna make your life much easier. If you do plan on shooting a lot of overhead stuff, you can actually extend this, turn this thing off so you can save battery, and it's gonna stay at the full length, or whatever length you last put it in. So in my case, this is a great 2-in-1 device. For other people, maybe 3-in-1, depending if they do use the monopod feature. So in my experience of using this Slypod, it's super easy. I turn it on, press a couple buttons, it moves, and I hit record. That's it. I can get a quick sliding shot in 2 or 3 clicks with the Slypod E, and to me, I think that is really efficient. Now, there is an app which I don't really use just because I work faster or just get more shots in faster without it. The only time where I think the app is handy is when the Slypod is in a really awkward position where I cannot reach the buttons. There's nothing wrong with the app, it's very easy to use, and it does offer a lot more functions with it. So how about shooting outside of the tech world? I would say it's also handy, but you would probably use it less often because when you're shooting something for a cinematic film or just getting montages, you're basically getting a shot here and there and you have to set it up. So you're not going to be using it as much as inside of a studio. Unless you're on a set to shoot pickup shots or B-roll or just montage shots, then okay, it will work. Not so much during talking shots because of the loud motor. So that's why I'm saying it's very useful in the tech space because you don't really need sound for your B-roll. Moza also sent me the ball head for the Slypod E and it works really great. It's high quality, but the plate is just too big. I'm pretty sure it's also Arca Swiss compatible, but the Arca Swiss that I'm using is very tiny and I pretty much have it all set up with all my devices or tripods and a lot of the accessories that I have. So I don't want to switch over to the big one Moza has just to use it on a Slypod. So what I did was I used my own ball head and everything works fine. I don't really need to switch anything out or it's just not convenient. For the next version, I do hope the Slypod will be more quieter. I feel like a lot of people would love that and maybe a bit longer so it can actually be, or people can actually use it as a monopod. It would be pretty cool if Moza come up with some sort of small motorized pan head to work with the Slypod so you can get those cool sliding parallaxing shots. So in the end, I do love this product. It's so useful for what I do. So if you're in the tech space, I would say highly try it out, get it, and it will really bring up your shooting game. For me, I would say it's still worth getting one, even though it's like a year or 2 old, unless they're releasing a new one soon. So if you found this video helpful, I would appreciate it if you do hit the like button. You can also find me on Instagram to see more of my personal day-to-day life. I will have the links down below if you guys are interested in getting one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.